Hello and welcome to episode 19 of our Timberborn Update 7 Emberpelts hard mode playthrough here in cycle 25 and day 25. And that's right, Update 7. I migrated the save. Not all the mods made the cut. In fact, most of them kept throwing errors at me. But, you know, the game loads, Emberpelts loads, we have ladders, and that's basically everything I think we're really going to need for the time being. So we did unfortunately lose, for right now at least, well, of course, no, I clicked on the board. We did lose the automated fluid dumps here, but that is something we're just going to have to kind of live with. Go ahead and get those things turned back on, because those were turned off by the automation when this save was last saved. But here we are in cycle 26, day 1. Everything is looking spiffy here. I do have these set to open, which we did last time, I think, to make sure this was going to be set up correctly. But the fun stuff with Update 7 for the Emberpelts, and boy, there's a lot. There's been a little bit of reorganization of our toolbar here. Now our industry is kind of grouped all together. We've got the clay and the wood and the metal all in one go. And outside of that, we also have this separate platforms and overhangs thing that just kind of splits up paths and structures. But it's the same stuff we've had before. And now we've got tubeways. Yes, friends, that was what ended up winning out when mod creator asked what we wanted to see in Emberpelts, whether it was going to be the tubeways or the zip lines. But I'm excited to get to these guys because we haven't played with these in our live stream series. We haven't live streamed that guy in a while. But the zip lines have been a whole lot of fun for the folktails, and the tubeways I think are going to be tremendously fun here with the Emberpelts. So if you're not familiar, this is basically just kind of like a tube subway kind of thing. We've got this station that has looks like 7 connections here, and you can also connect from beneath, although I can't get the camera low enough to show you what that looks like. And then this is specifically for the Emberpelts. We have a small tubeway station that's 2x2. It has all those connections, looks like 6 of them. And then we have, of course, the regular tubeways, and we have a tubeway levee. So what's cool about that is we could, if we felt so inclined, we could replace one of these levee blocks with a tubeway levee, and that's going to allow tubes to go, well, through the levee and be completely waterproof, which is really cool. But where this differs from the basic one in the regular game for the Iron Teeth is that we don't have 2 different types of tubeways. We just have tubeways. So the Iron Teeth are going to have a tubeway that can be buried underground, and then these guys just have this regular tubeway. But what's really cool, really cool about Update 7, aside from that, is of course the 3D terrain. So now we have the option, if we feel so inclined, to come in here with a platform and a terrain block, and we can do that, and it works. It's really cool. So there's a lot of opportunities we have here in this playthrough. If you guys have any specific ones you'd like to see with the 3D terrain, I can think of a bunch of stuff offhand that might be kind of a fun thing to play with. But for right now, we do have a couple things from last episode that we have to take care of separately from the whole excitement of updating to Update 7. And yes, friends, the plank situation is going to be brought back under control. We do have to get more of them in here. Because I just, wanted to focus on getting the gears taken care of, because that was such a huge issue. We'll go ahead and automate this because we have some bots ready to go. But yeah, we've got a lot of stuff that we really should get going on. So I think the easiest thing for us to do as we continue, I got to get used to these new things down here. Easiest thing for us to do is just keep on keeping on, put in another one of these large lumber mills, and then we can also automate these. Or set them to be used for bots. I was informed that there is a mod called Automation that has some sort of other function, whatever. I've just always called it automated. I don't know. It's not really automated. It's just bot-amated, if you will. But we'll let them keep on going for that. As a reminder, Update 7 changed how the mine works, but in the Emberpelts, it doesn't seem like this has actually changed very much. Unless this did, and I'm just a complete bold-faced liar, in which case please eviscerate me in the comments section for being dumb. But this, as far as I can tell, is the same. Remember, in the base game, this has changed. It's different, but for right now, it does look like that's the same. People had asked in the comments how that was holding up with terms of supply stuff, and it does seem, even though these numbers are not really where they should be. We do have components here adequately for that to happen. So let's just prioritize by haulers. That should probably help a little bit. And we'll let them do what they've got to do. So, like I said, we've got all sorts of stuff that needs to be improved. We have tons of wood that can be cut down, and we can just have it come right over here. Nice and easy. Doesn't have to be a big ordeal whatsoever. We just want to make sure this is ready to go. So we will continue adding to this, but they're just going to take some time to get this whole thing figured out, and that is going to be what it's going to be. So the reason I'm putting these in here is because we do need to put in additional lumber mills, and I want to make sure that we have enough space to do that. So that is going to be what that is. You'll notice that we do have these multiple paths here. This is not the additional mod that has paths that will increase travel speed. That's something we can do a little bit later. I just wanted to make sure that for this initial foray into Update 7 with the Emberpelts, that everything would just work perfectly fine. I know there's a lot of really cool mods that the same mod creator, Bobbing About, has done for the Emberpelts and for other factions as well. But I do want to just make sure that these guys are up and running before we get too crazy into stuff. Maybe the next episode we can take a look at some of that other fun stuff. But like I said, today, a lot of the focus is going to be on just playing with all the fun new Update 7 stuff, while also taking care of the problems from the previous couple episodes. Which, again, most of you leaving comments were having concern over the amount of planks continuing to go down, but we are making and taking steps to improve that, and that's all sorts of fun here. Now, we do have some water that is still coming in. We had this whole thing kind of in the process of getting additional dynamite popped in place. I neglected to put a pathway. I hope you didn't just hear my elbow clicking like that. That's a very concerning sound for that to make. But I don't know. It like reverberates like through my headphones because of anyway, whatever. I didn't have this connected with a path, so they didn't put this in, which is fine because it's about to be wet anyway, and we already know that the beavers absolutely hate getting wet in this mod. So, what I was originally going to say about pathing for our tubeway stations is I think we're going to have to figure out a more direct route through this farm right here. And I've been thinking about this for a while, that maybe we should just have this go straight through here, because then I can put tubeways here. And I know we can bury those things or whatever, but I think the easiest thing for us to do right now is just going to be to build straight away through here. So let's go ahead, just to simplify things a little bit. Let's just make this one of these regular pathways and let them just go straight the way across, and we'll put in a pathway to get through here as well when the time comes. But that should be pretty simple. Let's go ahead and get that, but I don't want to remove... Why was that even there? Well, we're going to get this all figured out, but they don't have to be crazy about it. I guess probably right here would make the most sense. Just get that removed. We get it all fixed up. Just going to take a little bit of time. Of course, now they're about to go to bed, so they might not actually get these two out of here. No, it looks like they might. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Now we just have to get these crops back in place, and I gotta figure out exactly what everything is again. But it seems like that's gonna make sense there. And it looks like this was all corn up here, which we probably don't need to still have being corn. But that's fine. So now we have an option on what we want to do here. And I think the best thing that we can do is relocate this farmhouse, or just get rid of it entirely, because honestly, I don't think we really need to have it. But for right now, I think what we're going to end up doing is... I keep a muscle memory is to like click on this spot on the screen, but that's not where it is anymore. Let's get this regular two-way station. And what's cool about this is we can, obviously we're going to have to put everything on top of platforms here. But we can have this thing kind of elevated. I'm going to bring this all the way through here. And then this can just go straight up the cliff face, and we can have another one up here. But cool thing about this is we can put it on top of other stuff, including storages for things that we need. And somebody left a comment saying, hey, we don't have enough radish storage. So you take a look at our actual bits here, and it looks like we've only got 200 radish storage. Well, you know what we can do is we can pop in a medium warehouse down here just for some radishes, and on top of it we can pop a tubeway station just like so, and I can just go ahead and put that guy right there, and with the help of the ladder, actually that can't go that way, don't build that, don't build that, that's got to go this way, come on, there we go. I get that thing situated, and then wait a second, hold on, can I not attach a tube to this side? Am I about to expose myself here? Man, I hate it when I'm wrong. Alright, so... Never mind. Never mind. We'll just put this on the back side here, and I guess I get to be a liar. But... that's fine. It was never going to be perfect forever. There we go. See, look how far you can drag this thing out, man. So, the idea with this is that we're going to be able to go between our district center here and our area up here. Now, you might be thinking, well, why would you do that? Because you're going to make this a separate district. Well, about that, I'm actually not completely convinced that we need to have a separate district anymore, especially because we have these tubes. And, well, we're about to have the tubes, and they can go real quick. Hello? They can go real quick between those two. So, you know, let me know your thoughts. Would you be okay with us not having separate districts and just utilizing the tubeways? Because, you know, we talked about going to the other ends of the map and stuff, which would normally require having separate districts. But with the tubeways, we can travel 4 times as fast. It's a plus 300% speed modifier, which would give us, on a base level, 4 times the original speed, but it's modifier to walking speed, so if they have faster speed anyway, then it's not technically 4 times normal speed. It would be like 5 or 6 times, depending on what it is. But we got options. We've got options to get to the far reaches of the map without having to worry about a bunch of nonsense. So if that's something you are curious about exploring, please do feel free to let me know your thoughts about that, because I am really curious. I think it is going to be tremendously fun to see exactly what these beavers are going to be capable of with this. And I am just so excited to see it. I am just unbelievably excited. And we're gonna have to kind of level this off a little bit, I think, depending on how we want to have this set up. Lots of opportunities here. Lots of opportunities to do stuff in a way that hopefully isn't complete nonsense. Hopefully. But you know how this goes. I don't really have to do it this way. I just end up doing stuff this way for whatever reason. But this, I think, gonna make the most sense to do. There we go. There we go. See how long it takes them to build this? But yeah, basically the idea that I had was to just put in another one of these guys right in this general direction here. Because that's going to give us the ability to have like another one of those junction bits or whatever you want to call it. Depending on how we want to have this set up, I think probably it's going to make the most sense to do this, even though we're going to lose one of our things right there, because then I can have additional ones going out this way if we so choose. But I'm real excited. I love these things so much, man. I just think it's so cool that we have the ability to send these beavers at maximum speed through these big old tubes. What a great game. What a fantastic game, man. There's so much cool stuff. Now, you'll notice our plank numbers are still down, but I think a lot of that is because these tubes do take 4 planks apiece to build, and we're still in the process of getting all this done. But we do have now 6 of these over here. I'm going to go ahead and get these bot controlled, and we'll check our power consumption. Yeah, we're still looking real good, folks. Still looking real good. And I think we can probably go ahead and get this converted over as well and continue getting this situated. I think that's going to be the best way to do it, but we'll let them do what they got to do. Still have plenty of oak trees on the back here. These guys here are at 69, 69. That's a whole lot of 69. 70s over here. Okay, so that's looking better. But we are going to be in a situation in the next couple of days where we're not going to have any more trees harvestable over here for a while. So what I think we might have to do with that is we might need to get into planting some additional trees elsewhere, which brings up an interesting topic of discussion. There's a lot of people that seem to think that the all oak strategy is bad and that we should be planting other types of trees that take less time to grow, just on the basis of them being available sooner. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I agree. Feel free to play like that if you choose. But from a purely like efficiency standpoint, this is still the best way to go to get the most bang for your buck, so to speak. Remember, 30 days for 8 logs versus... Oh, I forgot these got buffed in Update 7. Now it's 7 days instead of 9 for 1 log. Pines are still 12 days for 2 logs. And then maples are the same with that, and apples are obviously a modded thing. So I guess birches are a little bit better now. But I've never really thought that it was worth having the separate types of trees, because everything eventually evens out anyway. And remember that right now we are using a lot of materials that we otherwise probably wouldn't be using, since we're building so much more of this stuff. And I think that is probably worth noting as well. But we have a bad tide coming in, so I am going to go ahead and just manually close both of these sluices. They weren't automated before. Well, not to the degree that they would have been super useful, but I don't think we want to mess with too much of anything else. Long-term plan I do have is to increase the size of the reservoir both by the dynamiting and possibly increasing the height a little bit as well, but there's a lot that's got to get done for that to be viable. So keep your ideas about you for that one, I suppose, in case I ever decide to ask again. But bad tide is going to mean that we can send some more beavers in here to blast, especially as this continues to go down. Well, depending on how long the bad tide is, we'll get there. We will get there. So something I just noticed, you see these segments light up like this? They can actually build from inside the tubeways, and that's something you guys have said in the comments for a while. But I just think that's so cool. And that's one of the things that had kind of turned me off from building with those things when I originally read the patch notes and everything. But because you remember the choo-choo mod, if you've been on the channel for a while, in Update 4, Update 5, we played with the choo-choo mod, and I absolutely love that mod, and I'm planning on doing it just as soon as it works properly with Update 7 stuff, whenever that gets updated. But if you remember, building the train was always such an arduous task. The tracks, not the train itself, that was easy. But building the tracks was always such an arduous task because you had to have access physically to every tile that the tracks would go on. Whereas with these guys, they can just kind of go inside the tube and build from inside the tube. So that makes it very, very easy. Provided you don't have to do, like terrain modification or something. It makes it very, very easy to get everything situated. And right now, we've got this tubeway and that tubeway to go, and then we're going to have a perfect, seamless, straight line, well, with this little bit connection between the top here and this area here, and plenty of opportunity. Yeah, see, look, there they go. There they go, building from that side as well. Look how fast those guys are going through there. Tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. And I love this so much, man. So much cool stuff you can do with this. Yeah, look at them. Look at them. Just like super speeding. And the blue ones, those are bots. Those are bots. So that brings me to the next thing that I just love seeing all those lights go. Like a 3-year-old or a easily amused dog. But the other thing is, people have been clamoring for more and more haulers and more builders and all this other stuff. And now that we have easy access here and here, folks, it's time. it's time to put a whole bunch more of these. We have 20 bots. Actually, those are beavers. Well, we have 20 bots who are not working and 20 beavers who are not working. So that means that we can put in a whole lot of these things, man. We get all sorts of cool stuff going here, and that is so exciting. So exciting. Oh, you know what? I also forgot this bot part factory we built was not set to be worked by bots. So now we do have an extra bot limb factory that has been, quote-unquote, not automated, but automated, because that's always what I call it. Really, really exciting stuff. The mining's continuing to look pretty good. We hadn't had the smelters doing stuff yet because that was a lot of science we hadn't been using. But let's go ahead. Go ahead and get those going. And then we can come over here to our excavator. And that was 4,000 science, but we have that now because we have our second number cruncher, so now those are bots as well. And we are looking good, folks. Looking real good. Now, a lot of the more dangerous jobs have been bot-enabled. We're going to continue. Oh, do I have exactly 2,000 for the explosives factories? Yeah, pretty much. All right, so there you go. That should be a lot of the beavers that were getting injured. Should no longer be getting injured. Obviously, there's still more to do, and there's still more science that has to be produced for that to happen, but that's why we have the number crunchers. So just let that continue to be what it's going to be, and we'll, make those adjustments as time goes by. But now we have all this space up here. Why don't we go ahead and just put in a couple more hauling posts? I am going to just kind of put things where they're going to fit. And let the bio beavers probably do most of the hauling duty. But even just this very, very simple bit, point to point here, tremendously helps everything we've got going on. I'm so pleased with that. I love it. I love it so much. And we have the ability here. I guess I probably should make sure that those all get connected. I know that was an update that was made after we built this. But we can go ahead and we can send one down this way to this end as well, just to make things a little easier. We can also build the small two-way stations. I just never really end up doing anything with these alternate models here. But I'm just so excited. So excited with all this. I love it so much, man. I've got to figure out what the right way to go about this is. So obviously this can come this way, this can come this way. Probably is going to make the most sense to do that, but I'm going to make a just a real simple tube way to go like that over the path. And then I don't know if I want to build anything on this other side or not, but we can always just make a simple adjustment to it. Just bring this all the way here. I know we have the too wide path here that really is not a super optimal way of doing this, but honestly, who cares? I think it's fun. So if we do this like so, then when I come in with one of these guys, obviously that doesn't connect there, but depending on how we want to have this laid out, if we wanted to go, say like right here, that would just have to go around the back, or we could just do this, honestly. Super simple, super easy, and that leaves 4 other outlets here that I think would be nice. But yeah, just tremendously useful, helpful things. Bad tide started. We just have to make sure that everything is going fine here. I have no reason to believe it won't. Because these weren't affected by the automation mod. They're just, the basic functionality of the sluices to begin with. Yeah, we got some real surging going on over here. That's something we should probably address at some point, but for right now it seems to be fine. And now the rest of the water here is going to just overflow at the back and then come in through here for the next 25 days. And that means we can have more storage capacity here as soon as that's taken care of, but that's something that's going to happen in due time. Look at, I love just seeing these lights go everywhere, man. It's just so cool. I love this so much. And as we continue building out toward other parts of the map, we can obviously have everything connected super, super easily, super conveniently, and that is going to be tremendous. Really, really, really good stuff. But now we have all of these hauling posts with the bio beavers in them. We got a lot of haulers, and we have some bots as well that can stand to have some stuff to do, but we're in the middle of waiting for some more science here. So we don't quite have enough extra overhead to put in a third number cruncher. But we do have options as we continue going by all of this other stuff, upgrading, changing, so on and so forth. We do have the option to add some more water wheels here if we kind of straighten this path, water path, not actually a path, but we straighten this out a little bit. We can put a couple more rows of that, so on and so forth. It's just one of those things that, you know, just takes time. And we've been kind of focused on some other stuff. So I do think that's something that I would like to get into. Right here should be pretty easy to do. And we can also, you know, just kind of gradually alter the course of this so it just comes straight out here. We can put in a couple more rows, like I was saying, and that'll end up being quite nice. Outside of that, there's definitely other stuff we could be doing as we continue changing things around. But I think what I'm most interested in now is seeing where our wood situation stands. Now that we're no longer building a crazy amount of processing facilities, I think, you know, 1,200 planks is probably fine. 962 gears is probably fine. But we are down to under 600 logs, and those are the ones that take the longest to come back. Obviously, we can continue planting additional trees. If you guys really want to, we can plant additional types of trees for harvesting for wood, but I really don't think we have to worry about that. Remember that we built a whole bunch of stuff in the last couple cycles that otherwise we wouldn't have built. We're just kind of building massive quantities of stuff all at once. These are at 93%, so we're going to have a pretty decent influx of wood soon. It's just a question of whether or not it's going to be before or after the eventual running out of wood. I think it's going to be okay, though. And if this ends up being way too many of these large lumber mills, which honestly it probably already is, then that is something we can adjust at some other point in time. All that being said, I do think it's time to probably start thinking about expanding to other parts of the map now that we have our tubeways, and they're just so incredibly fast. So, I guess this is another question I can pose to you guys. Let's go ahead, enter dev mode just so I can turn off the fog. I know people keep asking that and I always forget and I feel bad about it. But if we turn off free camera, I can zoom out and show you the rest of the map here. This area here is just a regular water source. Obviously, it's a bad tide right now. But this was one of those things that I said I wanted to put a diversion at some point in the middle of the series, the beginning of the series. I wanted to do that. And then, of course, we have this area kind of already taken care of. But as far as I can remember, I think this is the only other part of the map that has regular water sources. So honestly, in my opinion, that's probably where we should go next to try and do a diversion there. And since we have these tubeways, set up like a little satellite area and see what else we can do there. But as always, I will defer to your preferences and judgment on that. If you want to see us go over there next, do let me know. Because there's plenty of stuff over here. Remember, I said I was going to make the reservoir bigger, but there's also this entire half of the map that's currently just covered in goop that we could definitely do some either terraforming or some sort of adjustments to the way water flows, fluid flows, whatever you want to call it over here, to take advantage of that. We do have these other underground ruins areas and different stuff that we could play with, or at least, you know, one of the popular goals in all of these series, we never really end up doing it, but people always ask for the whole map to be turned green. And I think we're in a better position to do that than we probably ever have been, now that we have access to the tubeways and everything. So do let me know your preferences on that. I do like to keep you guys as involved as I can with all this, because it is a let's me play. Wow. Let's play, not a watch me play. There we go. But I'll turn free camera back off and turn dev mode back off. But I am going to leave the fog turned off because a number of you have expressed interest in that being a thing. So we are down to under 100 or around 100 logs. But in the next day or two, we will have more oaks coming in. So I think grand scheme of things, we're probably fine. Just need to keep in mind what we are doing, what we're spending our resources on. and making judgment calls appropriately based on that. But it's also worth noting, talking about the tubeways, we don't have to have intersections only at the tubeway stations, because these will just kind of go basically wherever they have room to intersect with anything, right? Because this will connect there and there. I can just have this come this way. So we can create branch lines off of basically anything. So we could have this come down here all the way if we wanted to have one next to the houses, or we wanted to have, for whatever reason, turn this into like a resort island. That actually might be kind of a fun build, fun idea. We could put in like a dance halls and all sorts of others. You know what? I'm not even going to wait for you guys to either approve or deny that. I'm just going to do it. Dance island it is. Oh, that's going to be a fun way to spend, I don't know, another 5-10 minutes of a playthrough trying to get that set up. But see, that's just such a funny idea. Just a funny, completely unnecessary idea that I think that would be a really fun thing for us to do. So let's go ahead and get this cleaned up, get them working on that. Decide, let's see, we got dance halls. If we want to have this still be the entrance, obviously we can have this just zoop right on through down this way, which would bring it to, actually, yeah, right over this way. That's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. We just have to be able to fit our stuff here. So if I were to expand this island to, I don't know, maybe have room for, let's say 2 dance halls and, maybe not an exercise plaza, but 2 dance halls and a couple of other things, accessible conveniently with a two-way station, might be kind of a fun thing. So if I were to just put that guy right there, this would go right into the side. Super, super easy. I'm going to kind of hold off on, using a whole lot of wood products, because we are down to about essentially 0 wood. But we are cutting down some oak trees here. So that's fine there. Let's just... oh, here come all the builders. Let's just see. What are we going to be working with here? So I'll need to go 2 out that way. I love it when it does that. 2 out that way. So let's just do that there. That'll give us plenty of space. 1200 science. Go ahead and unlock that. And yeah, if I were to do, say, like right here, if I go 1 more, then I have room to put a fire pit on either. Ooh, you know what? That's actually not a bad idea. I just have to add a little bit more here. Yeah, let's do that. Actually, do I need 3 more? No, I think I only need 2. Our island's looking pretty square. Looking pretty square. But I think if we want to be a little artistic about it, what I can do is I can make that bump out a little bit there. How wide is this? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. That's 11 that way. This would be 3, 5, 7, 9. This would be 11 this way. But I'm going to have enough space over here. I guess it really doesn't hurt to just have this start with being completely symmetrical. I know. My obsession with symmetry doesn't really end up creating something that's incredibly interesting to look at, but I do think it is nice to have stuff that looks nice, Just makes sense. So if I were to do that bit there, then I do that bit there and that bit there, then, it's not perfectly circular, but it does look slightly less terrible than whatever else we'd been looking at doing. Okay, trees here, 2%, 52%, 89, 94, 96. Yeah, and remember that as our storages are filled up, then these facilities will stop making those things. But you know what I still don't see? I still don't see a lot of lubricant. So I think of the pine resin. Pine resin is not the problem so much as the refinery doesn't have the capacity, the throughput to get this taken care of. So that could be another thing that could be turned over to the bots, I think would be probably a lot better. And how many? That's 2,500 science. Wow. Okay. Well, these guys right here definitely have a lot of terraforming to do. So, in the interest of accomplishing stuff and making sure that that this episode has enough things gotten done that it's worthwhile, and also not making you guys wait for the wood to come back, I am going to time-lapse this, get a little bit more stuff built up, and we'll let some trees grow in, and then think about other stuff that we've got to take care of. But next time you hear from me, we'll have, hopefully, some semblance of an interesting thing done over here on our little recreation island, and hopefully it ends up being something worth watching. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and come out of the time-lapse because this is fully connected now. And we do technically have something operating here, but it's time for us to go ahead and finish the rest of this, including getting rid of all these pieces of... what are these things called? Levees. There you go. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and get these... oh, that didn't work at all how I thought it was going to. I don't know why I'm surprised. Get those things situated there so they can be picked up. And now we've got to get the rest of our dirt in place here. Shouldn't be a too terribly difficult process for that, but we'll go ahead and start to get the rest of these things in here. But as predicted, we are still kind of running low on our logs here, so I'm not going to get these quite yet, but we are going to talk about what goes here. So obviously another dance hall here. I'm going to put some campfires here, here, and here, which is going to leave us a little bit of room down here. We can put in some other stuff, depending on how we want to do things. We can even landscape a little bit, or we could expand the island a little bit more past this and then put in some trees as decorations. Whatever you think might be best. Got a couple different options for that. If you were quick during the time-lapse, you noticed that I didn't have a bunch of these trees marked for cutting, but now I do. And in fact, this is actually probably a really good spot for us to put in the rest of our land back here. Just get this situated. Hopefully they can actually... Oh, you know what? They might not actually be able to reach in here. That's an interesting conundrum to have. So we might need to give them a little bit of a leg up. And by leg up, I mean a leg down on the stairs. Boo! I know. Get this filled back in. Plant a couple more trees. Something we should have done a long time ago. We just kind of hadn't thought about it. And obviously there's, other tree planting stuff we can take care of. We can cut down a bunch of these if we're really, truly desperate. But I think in time, it's all going to kind of even out. And of course, we can always improve stuff in other ways. But we've got 40 unemployed bots. So I think it's probably about time for us to, make some of these jobs into bot jobs. Specifically for the future of this playthrough, I'm just going to go ahead and start converting builders over to bots. Because now I know we have these big tubes and we got some fuel in different spots. I think it's just a pretty good use of our resources for that to be a thing. And we can gradually start retiring some beavers or lower our population, whatever, so on and so forth. I am going to go ahead and remove this lodge and these 3 medical beds, and I'll tell you why. And that's because I thought about this during that time-lapse, and I want to make sure I brought it up. We can put a tube-way station right here. Super, super simple. And if we want to connect to stuff, depending on how we want to have this set up, if we want to have this pathway continue here, then we can just very, very simply just put a tube-way here and a tube-way here. Nice and easily connected, or I could have, gotten rid of one of these and then just had it go straight down. But I think for what we're working on here, that's probably going to be fine. We do still have 2 incapacitated beavers, but we've got plenty of these beds, and now a lot of the dangerous jobs are taken by bots anyway, so we shouldn't really have to worry about it. things are just looking really good, folks. I'm very, very pleased with how most of this, not all of it, but most of it has gone. Obviously, we do still have a lot of stuff that needs to be improved, and, you know, it is what it is. We're going to get there when we can get there. But we do have the option, we have the opportunity to continue expanding stuff and do the best we can, and, you know, that's what we always do, so that's what we're going to continue to do. I do want to fill this in as well. This is all going to be very nicely irrigated. Look at this. This is a relic from a past time with contamination barriers and everything. Wow. What a thing here, huh? Just go ahead and get these blockages out of the way. They can get those from up top. Nice and easily. Hopefully nobody gets silly-billied in a very stupid manner. But yes. Super, super simple process to get this just kind of readjusted. Add a couple more trees. Nothing super complicated. Just taking a little bit more space, making good use of what we got. Small fixes here and there, just to get everything all ready to go. Make sure these get marked for cutting. And, you know, there's probably a few more we could put in other spots, but for right now, I think that's going to be good. I was kind of hoping that we'd see more logs come in so we could actually build the rest of this. And I'm kind of reluctant to cut a bunch of these trees down here, but given the amount of maple syrup that we have, 2,800, I don't think it's unreasonable to just go ahead and cut a sizable swath of these things down and get all that taken care of. I mean, I am just not used to the lumberjack flag being in that spot. We'll go ahead and just put one of these guys in here. They'll get it cut down. They'll get it planted immediately again. It's not a big deal. It's just going to, you know, be a little bit of a wound to my pride. But, you know, when has that not happened in these playthroughs, right? I did say that we're going to have opportunities during this bad tide to do additional blowing up and destruction type stuff. And I think at this point that's probably best left to the next episode, if we're even able to do it. I might have bit off a little bit more than I could chew in terms of, you know, putting in the tubeways and all that, because I really, really want to make sure that this area here is going to be just a little bit more useful. So I'm going to go ahead and put these dance halls, these campfires in, just so these guys, you know, have a little something to do. That's always good, right? Just get these nice and situated. We've got plenty of space in here if you can think of anything interesting that we might be able to pop in. Obviously, we have these other well-being items, but there's also decorations that might be kind of cool. Even just, you know, simple hedges for the sake of having something that looks kind of nice would be a neat option. The frog statue, unfortunately, I do not think works with Update 7 or the Emberpelts, but if it does, or if it ever does, please let me know, and we will absolutely put some in. That's a fun thing. But I think would be a smart choice to put in just a couple simple things like, say, scratchers in these 4 spots. That's a nice, easy thing to do. And then, of course, we have detailers we haven't gotten into yet. That does require the use of some extract. But now that we don't have to use the extract for the excavator, that would give them a little bit of a something to play with, should we choose to utilize that. It looks like we got a 34 score here. It's always nice to see. Nice improvements happening here. Just about ready to go. Get these popped in. And yeah, I mean, we've added some trees here. I know we can keep going. We can keep expanding this, and we've talked about we're going to do it. But that stuff can all come in due time. We got the space up here, too, that we can plant some more stuff with. We just kind of haven't really figured out what that's going to be about. I guess if we really wanted to play a hardball with this, we could have gotten rid of all the paths, put these on overhangs. That's the wrong one, because I do have the 4x1s unlocked, and, you know, that would save a whole lot of space for planting. But, you know, we have 27,000 food. I don't think that's a problem anymore. I don't think it's ever going to be a problem. So, you know, just a lot to think about. Lots to take a look at. Our apple numbers have actually dipped considerably. I'm kind of surprised. I didn't think that was ever going to be an issue. We had so many in storage. But we do still have some that aren't harvested. And it doesn't look like this guy's full either. So I guess that's probably fine. This has dried out, which, you know, is what it is. But we have 9 days left in the bad tide. There's still tons of water in here, so I'm going to go ahead and say we have 7,500 here. I think, you know, looking at how this is set up, we're probably okay to go ahead and just automate one of these sluices again, let a little bit of water in, and then think about, as we continue, you know, improving stuff here, what we want this to look like. Because if we take up a bunch of this space with terrain and either make more islands or narrow the river course, whatever, then that, of course, is going to be less water to evaporate as we continue moving on. And I think that's probably a smart choice. Also, keep in mind, any water that we drain out of here means there's more stuff accessible for the beavers to blow up if we decide we're going to take that route. But I guess, you know, since I did say a lot of this is like stuff for another episode or whatever, that I probably should hold myself to that at some point instead of just continuing to backtrack on stuff. Sometimes I do get called out on that. I appreciate you guys bringing that up. It's like, you say you're going to do a whole bunch of stuff, then you never do it. Well, remind me. Because I'm going to forget. That's just how this works, folks. But yeah, that is going to help us out a little bit. Keep these trees growing a little bit as well. I do think that's probably... I mean, this is going to dry up in 2 days if I just shut it off now. But don't you think this looks kind of nice? Reasonably symmetrical island. I know we have these grass spots here that I maybe could have put trees in or whatever, but, you know, it's... I think it's probably fine. Depending on what else we want to do, I could also put another bit of land here. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. Since I currently have access to that, just kind of make it symmetrical on either side of these campfires. Just to give them something to do. But yeah, like I said, lots to still get done. Lots that we've gotten accomplished, actually. I'm feeling pretty good about it. But these lights, man, they never get old. I think this has been a pretty fun introduction to Update 7 with the Emberpelts. Obviously, there's tons more stuff to get to. We haven't done the 3D terrain here yet or anything. But there's just so much cool stuff that we're going to be able to do now that we have these super fast transportation methods. And I'm real excited to get into it. But this is where we're going to end this episode. As always, appreciate you being here. Beard Boosters, you already know. Literally the lifeblood of the channel. Can't do it without your support. So thank you for keeping the channel sponsor-free. Except for, you know, the people who make this game, because they're awesome like that. And, you know, just making it so that I don't have to worry quite so much about whether or not videos are going to do well in the algorithm, or keeping up to date with upload stuff. We had a couple past weeks where, you know, can't upload every day. Different stuff comes up, and somehow I'm still battling whatever kind of weirdness has been going on with my nose or whatever for the past 2 weeks. But you guys make it possible to just kind of stop worrying about most of that stuff, or at least to a much lesser degree. So I really appreciate the support, and, you know, everybody else who just shows up and watches the videos and comments and says hi and all that stuff. You guys are really helping out too, and I'm just glad we get to do this and have a great time playing a great game and just enjoying a nice positive community, because the world needs more of that. So once again, really appreciate you guys. Whatever you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you back again soon for more beavers. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.